Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a video on how to take a part from one truck and place it onto another. It's not really that hard to do. It's a fairly simple process. And my way of doing it may not be how everyone does it, but this works for me. And so this video is about how I do it in Blender 2.8. So the first thing is every every truck has the truck PIM has a root object, and the root object is, you can recognize it. It shows and it shows up as like a fidget spinner. It's like a triangle, kind of a deformed triangle, and everything attached to that truck shows up underneath that root. And if you click on the root, you activate it. It shows up, and it shows up as a single dot, and then it has XYZ coordinates for that truck route. And every locator is attached to this route. So let's say that we want to import a grill. We have a grill locator object inside our truck route, and if we turn it on and select it, you can see that it has a dotted line that's attached to that truck route. And so the part that we import as an accessory is attached to that truck route, and where it's placed it onto the truck is depending on where this locator object is. So this is the Volvo truck, and if I want to look at the grill on the truck, I can move the cursor. You go Shift S, and we go cursor to selected, and the part's going to show up where the cursor's at. So we've got the cursor onto the locator object, and we can import a grill. So if we go to, let's see, our upgrade folder, and we find the grills, we can select a grill, and it will import where our locator object is, which should be in a correct position for our truck. So if we turn our truck on, we can see that our grill is not in the correct location. Which means that is the wrong locator. So there's a correct locator. So I just had the wrong locator selected. So let's delete that. Let's see, let me find it. All right, so here's our grill. We're just going to delete it. Basically, we just had the wrong locator selected, so let's all right, so we select it, move our cursor. Now if we bring the grill in, it should come in the correct spot. So let's import the grill again. we'll do the plastic grill. Okay, now you can see that the grill shows up in the correct spot. All right, so that's I wanted to show you how to import a part into the truck. Now, if we take a part off another truck, we have to create a new locator pin into our truck root folder, and then we have to make sure that the part shows up on our truck. So what I've done, let me go ahead and delete the grill, and then I'm just going to re-hide my Volvo truck just to make everything a lot more clear. All right, so here's our truck root, and you can see that it's at 0. Its location is 0, and if we select in, we can see that the XYZ location is exactly 0. Now this is a wing that I took off the stock ATS truck Kenworth 900, I believe. And the only thing I did was go into the upgrade folder. I converted the Kenworth 900 truck to the PIT PM format, and I've got another video showing how to do the conversion and make it where you can import into Blender. So you'll have to do that to any truck that you want to get a part off of. You have to do the conversion on any truck. And once you do the conversion, all you got to do is go to the upgrade folder and select whichever part you want to put on your truck, and just open it up in the Blender. In this case, this came off the Kenworth 900. It's just an arrow wing, and I want to put this on my Volvo Legacy truck. So it's not hard to do. We just have to copy this piece over to our other truck. So I just select all 3 pieces, the root and the 2 parts, and then I right click, hit copy, and then I go back to my Volvo Legacy truck, and I come over here to our collection panel, hit right click, and then paste, and then our wing shows up. And our wing is going to show up in the 0 location. So it's if you select the root, you can see that it's 0, 0, 0. So now if we turn on our truck, you can see that now the wing is located up underneath our truck. It's centered, but it's underneath our truck, and that's not what we want. So we have to move this into the correct position. We have to create a locator object to make sure that this wing goes on into the correct position on our truck. So the locator object is real easy to create. You can just go to SCS Tools, go to Add, and then Model Locator, and you select it. And then the Model Locator, this is probably going to show up underneath the wing. Yeah, so the Model Locator shows up underneath the wing, and we want to put this into our truck root. It's under our wing root, and we want to put it in the truck root. So the easiest way to do it, or actually it's the only way I know to do it, is you have to drag this over the truck root and select Shift. So now you should have a locator called ML in our truck root, and there it is. So I am going to get rid of those locator objects, and I am going to rename this model locator just by double clicking on it. I'm going to rename this wing dash 001. And the reason why I named it that, and you can name it anything. We can just name it wing. Really doesn't matter what you name it. I tend to name it the same as the root of the part, which is wing 01, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to match. It just makes it easier if you got a lot of parts on here to match up the right part with the locator. But it doesn't matter. So this locator, it does two things. It tells where the part is located on the truck, and it also creates a selectable node inside the game, so you're able to add the part as an accessory. So if we select the wing node, and it's going to create it where the cursor's at. So our cursor was on the grill locator, so it created this new locator object precisely where the grill locator is, and that's not where we want it. So we have it selected, but we're going to move it to a close proximity of where the wing should be on the truck. So if we go searching for the wing, we know we've got a general idea of where that node is going to be at. So we'll just, and you can move these like you move any other part on the truck. You hit G for grab, and then whichever axis you want to move it on. In this case, it'll be the Z axis. And then if you ever got a question on which node you're moving, you can just look up here. You're moving the wing, so we know we're moving the right locator object. And so we're going to grab it and we're going to move it along the y-axis. All right, so that's a close proximity of where we want the wing to be. Now what you want to put this wing in the correct position. So what we need to do, we need to make this wing root match the locator object inside our truck root. So we select the wing. Well, actually, before we do that, we need to know the location of our locator object. So if we go back to our locator object, make sure it's selected. And if you don't have this menu, you can press N on your keyboard, and this menu will come up, and it'll show you the location of whatever is selected. So in this case, you want to write down your X, Y, and Z locators. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. X is -0, 0, 4, 5, 7, 7. And then our y-axis is -1.2, 382. And then on our z-axis, we're at 4.037. So now we have our XYZ coordinates of our locator object, and we're going to move our wing root to the same location. They have to match. Our wing root and our wing locator, they have to match. So the wing root right now is at 0, 0, 0. So we need to change the X coordinates to -0, 0, 4, 5, 7, 7. -0, 0, 4, 5, 7, 7. And I'm not sure why this doesn't take sometimes. But sometimes you just got to keep Whoops, putting it in. I think it might be a problem either with my computer or with, I may have to uh, reload Blender back in. It's been acting up a little bit. It's giving me an error every time I try to put it in. Let me try to put the Y axis in first. One. Okay, so I took the Y axis. Let me put the Z axis in. Point. Let me try to put the X axis in. And I'm not sure why it doesn't want to take it. Yeah, it keeps changing the number. But what we'll do, we'll just change the wing to 0.43. I'm not really sure why it won't take it. But we'll just change the locator to let's see, what was that? Do 0.43. So it is. More than one way to skin a cat. All right, so now our locator and our wing root should be in the exact same spot. So no matter where you pick they're together. But you'll notice that our wing now is way off the truck and not nearly in the correct position. So we have to move the wing to where we want it on the truck. So in order to do that, only select the parts you want to move. And so we've selected. Make sure you highlight them both so you know that they both move. So we have piece 0 and piece 1 selected. And then all we got to do is just move it into correct position. So hit G for grab. And we want to move it down. So we'll go along the Z axis. And we'll move this down. And notice only one part moves. So that's what you want to avoid that. So let's undo it. And should have both parts selected now. And we do. So we move it down along the Z axis. And then we'll zoom in to make sure that we're down on the truck. So grab, G for grab, and then, all right, it's not selected anymore. So select them both, G for grab, Z axis, and then we'll notice that we got a little bit of gap at the back and it's sitting flush at the front, so we'll have to rotate just a little bit, and we want to rotate it along the X axis. So we hit R for rotate and X for the X axis. And then we can just rotate it ever so slightly so that it sits evenly on top of our truck. There we go. And then we want to move it down a little bit more. So G and Z. Okay, so now we have it sitting on top of our cab of our truck, but you'll notice that it's off to one side. So we'll square it up by clicking on our Y, and then we'll hit grab, and then for the X axis, and then we will slide it over. And that's fairly close. Now, if you want to make sure that it's completely centered over our cab, we can go, since it's selected, we can go to our X, and we can just select 0. All right, move our shadow. There we go. That's a little bit better. What I just did, our wing root was not zeroed on our X axis. So I wanted it to be centered over the cab of the truck. So what I did, I selected my wing root and I changed the location to X. So now when I select the two pieces and I make it 0, now the wing is exactly centered over our cab of our truck. But now we also, you can see that our wing locator is not centered, so we need to center it also. So we will just make it 0, 2. And now our wing locator and our wing root is at 0 on the X axis, and our wing is now centered over our cab of our truck. Okay, so any part that you want to add to your truck, you've got to create a locator. You got to make sure it's inside your truck root file. And then you have to make sure that the locator and your new part root is located in the same position. And so now this truck is ready for export. So we'll go ahead and we'll export this truck. All right, so we select which folder we want to export to. And I just want to export it to my base folder. So what I need to do, so I don't get any errors, I need to delete this version 6 and then all these pip-pim files underneath it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So if I go back to my projects and I want to delete all these files here. These are my old files, so I'm going to delete those so I don't get any errors. I go back into Blender, and then I select that same folder, that same base folder, and I check my file path, make sure it's the correct file path. This is Volvo Legacy Mod 4 base, and I'll accept it. And then for the mod name, I'm going to rename this to, I can just rename it to wing. And then the last thing I want to do is right up here with this knife, I want to clear out my conversions that I've done previously. So I'll just select this little knife tool, and it's going to clean all the converted data inside my tools folder. And now I'm ready to pack the mod. Okay, now that our mod is done packing, we can go back to our project folder, and you can see that we have the truck and the wing pit PM, and then we have the wing zip file, and this is our converted models. So we'll extract those. So here's our wing folder. This is where we extracted, and you'll notice that now you have a wing PMD file and a wing PMG file, and then you have the 3 truck leg PMC, PMD, and PMG files. So if we go, we'll leave that open a second. We'll go back to our project file, and we'll open the Volvo Legacy. And here is our truck file. So the one thing that you want to do is you want to replace your truck files inside your truck. So go to Vehicle, Truck, and then Volvo VNL 2018, or where your truck models are kept. And here's the ones for the Volvo truck. This is a legacy truck, the PMC, PMD, and PMG file. And the only thing you do is you copy these and you paste them into your truck file. All right, so now we have updated our truck in our mod, and now we need to put the wing 01 and the wing 01 PMD and PMG files in. So if we go back to upgrade, if you don't have, I've already done this to this truck one time, but if you don't have a folder, you have to create a folder. In this case, I created a folder called Wing, and then inside the Wing folder, I created another folder called Volvo VNL 2018, and inside that folder, I put all my wings. And in this one particular case, I've got wing aero, wing chrome, and wing paint. So what I'll do, I'll just put this wing inside this folder. Okay, so it could have been anything. It could have been a painted wing instead of a chrome wing. But anyway, I've got an extra wing inside this folder now. So now I've got to create a definition sheet so that this shows up as an accessory. So I come back out, and I go to the def folder, and I go to where my accessories are, and here's the accessory folder. And if you don't have a folder called grill, a folder called wing, go ahead and create you a folder. And so I created a folder called wing, which matches this wing folder where anyway, if you go back to our mod, our original truck mod, and you go back into vehicle, into truck, into upgrade, You can see I got a folder called wing, and then I got a folder called wing and accessories, and I want these two to match. So whatever this folder's named, that's what this folder should be named. This one's under your vehicle folder, and this one's under your def folder. So inside this wing folder, I've got Sii files that tells the game which wing to use as an accessory. And I put our new wing, and let me go back here a second. I really hope I'm not confusing you. But we remember we made a new wing and called it Wing 01. So I got to have a Sii file for that new wing that we just made. So if we go back to our mod, okay, so we got Wing 01 PMD file, and we need to create an Sii file that points to these models. So I can just select either one of these and just copy it and paste it. And I want to rename this Sii file Wing 01 so it matches our PMD PMG file. So I'll rename this Wing 01. All right, so now I've created a new Sii file that matches our model. And now we need to edit the Sii file so that it will work inside the game. So under the accessory add-on data, I want to change this first part of it because this has to match our file name to Wing 01. So this first part, Wing 01, or this first part right before our truck name has to match the file name. So Wing 01, they have to match. And we're going to change the name of our part to, we'll just call it Training Wing, so we know that it shows up inside the game. And then we'll leave the rest of it as is, and we'll leave the icon. But now we got this model file path, we have to change that so it points to the right PMD file. So we'll change that to Wing 01 PMD, and then we'll just save the file. All right, now it's saved. So now when I package this mod up, this new Wing 01 should be available as an accessory in our truck. So I'll package this up. We'll add it to archive, and we'll change it to a SCS file. I'll select zip and then just rename the extension to SCS, and then hit OK. And now it's going to package up our truck mod. So now we package that mod back up. We will copy it and put it into our mod folder. We go Documents, and American Truck Simulator, our mod. Okay, and we're going to replace the file in the destination. All right, we go to accessories, and we'll look for one called the wing. All right, now here's our training wing. It's showing up. We select it, and there's our wing on our truck. And this is, whoop, I guess because I moved the locator, it messed up my original wing. So I'll have to fix this, but it's not a problem. I just got to move it back in the right position. But I moved my locator when I was showing you how to do it, and so now my original stuff's not going to be in the right position. So I will fix all that. But anyway, that's how you get the part inside your game. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and please subscribe to my channel so you'll catch all my new videos as I make them. And I hope y'all have a great day, and please stay well, stay away from COVID. I'll see you later. Thank you.